I'm going to start standing. So you could stay in a chair, and I have both my rolly chair and the straight one. Remember, if you're in a chair, you want to be forward on the chair. So there should be a space between you and the back of the chair. Or if you don't have any arms, sitting sideways is great too. You don't have to worry about the back. Lean forward, and the first thing we're going to do is rub. So rub the back. If you bend over just a little bit, this will help open up the area. And this rubbing, again, is at our kidneys. So we're rubbing the kidneys, keeping them warm. You can do this in an up and down motion. You can do a stroking motion straight down, which is nice and calming. And if you have a little bit of lower back pain or stiffness, bending over and tapping. Just using the back of your hand and little fist. You can tap as vigorously or as softly, but this feels really nice. Again, we're waking up the kidneys. If you are someone who gets stressed a lot, tapping also helps because we're flushing the dead cells out of the tissues into the bloodstream. And next to our kidneys are the adrenals, and the adrenals are the gland that has the stress hormone cortisol. So tapping, and then do little brushing downs 2 or 3 times. Nice way to start the day. So we're going to do some things, as I mentioned, to warm the kidneys first. And if you need to, for balance, use a chair, you could lift and drop your heels. Otherwise, in a chair while you're seated, just lift and drop and swing your arms back if you need to stay seated. So you have choices. The hands moving are optional. I'm going to throw my mask on because we have guests entering the room. So first thing we're going to do is the kidneys. Morning, ladies. So lift the arms up, couple onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, drop down and swing your arms back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, drop down. Try to make your heels drop heavy. Open your mouth with your exhale. So you can do this as quick or as slow as you like. Just try to drop heavy into the floor. If you're someone who likes to have a regiment, usually about 9 times is what they recommend, but if you want to do more, you certainly can. One more. Good. And just let your arms come to a slow stop. Turn your palms out. Close your eyes for a moment if you like, or just look down. Bring your attention to the center of your palms. And notice any tingling you might be feeling. And now we're going to do something which we haven't done for a while. It's called Heaven and Earth. With this one, your hands are going to cross. So I'll come a little closer. So your hands cross without touching. And as one hand comes up, the palm is going to turn up. The bottom hand, the palm turns toward the earth. So we have heaven and earth. And each time they cross, you change. So from further back, I breathe in and my hand comes just above my head. The other hand comes here at the hip. This is a acupressure point. So we're outside the hip, but in line with the hip bone. That gives you a sense of where the movement is. Breathe in the middle. Exhale. Follow a hand. Pick one. If you need a little more grounding, follow the hand that's moving toward the earth. You want a little more energy, uplifting, we look upward. In the winter, it's nice to keep looking up. People tend to be a little more depressed because it's cold. They don't do as much. And you could always do both. So we keep our mind connected with the movement by keeping the hand and the eye connected with each other. Slow it down. Just take it nice and slow. We're nowhere to go. You're already where you need to be this morning. And now as your hand is up, I want you to turn to that side. So whatever hand is up, you're going to turn in that direction as if you were looking behind you. Give a little twist to your spine. So your knees are bent. Come back to center. Cross the hands. Exhale, twist. Coming back, breathe in. Follow a hand, whether it's the one in the sky or the one near the earth. And you come back and your hands cross, switch your gaze. See what that's like. And if that's not comfortable for you, you struggle with feeling dizzy or imbalanced, just keep your eyes straight ahead. Find a focal point behind you. Do one more to each side. Little press. Hands are facing the sky or the earth, but there's a bend in the elbows, so nothing is locked. Everything has a bend. It's like the branches of a tree. Now let's just sweep down. So step. That stepping could be just lifting your heel and touching it down. And brush your hand down the opposite side of the body. Remember, this is a nice way to balance out your nerves. So we're brushing down. This is called fire down. So if you're feeling a little anxious, just like you're petting, you know, you think of a pet, your dog or a cat, their fur goes in one direction. So when we're brushing, we tend to go downward in one direction. And you can think of it that way. If it doesn't make sense to you, just think of it as a pathway, like fur on an animal. There's a direction to the movement. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do knocking on the door of life. Again, we're still just waking the body up. Feet are wide. There's always that bend in the knees, little light fist. Remember, with your knees bent, practice just shifting the hips. Let your arms be empty for a minute and just practice like you're doing the bump. So your hip's going to come forward and then the other hip comes forward. So sink in and then add your arms. See if you can bring the arms opposite the hips so that you're getting a twist through the spine. There's two ways of doing this. Do what feels right for your body. Tapping at the hip bone and hand in the back, sitting at the lower back. Come under the ribs. And tapping on the body is intentional. Again, we're tapping the organs to get rid of any sluggish cells. You could use an open palm if you're feeling really tender this morning. You can also use your fingertips if you need a little lighter touch on the body. Try to make some sort of light connection. And then bring your hands up to the chest. So I'm tapping under my collarbone at the lung points on either side. And now we're going to complement that tapping with some tapping right at the center of your chest. So find the collarbones, and if you draw a little triangle right below it, you're tapping at the thymus. And this is for your immune system. So we're coming close to the chest. Again, fingertips or knuckles, but fingertips are a nice light touch. You don't want to tap too hard in this area. And right now, if you want to sit down or you need to sit down, feel free to do that. We're going to move from this to a little bit for the top of the shoulders, just to get some circulation moving into our head before we do other things today. So bring your hands out and open your fingers wide. So spread out your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades, opening your heart. Lift your ribs up a little bit so you can create some space in your spine. And then soften your shoulders back to your sides. So just let those arms drop. Keep reaching down and out like you have rays coming out through your fingertips. Spread them out nice and wide, stretch them down, and then turn your head to one side. Move your head back so that your ear is near the back of your shoulder blade. Nice, that looks good. I can see you. Open your eyes wide. Imagine you're trying to see what's on the wall behind you. Stretching down to the fingers. Drop your shoulders a little more. Bring your head back, soften the fingers. And let's do this once again with the fingers spread. Do a little engagement with the shoulders, opening the chest. Hands link down. And now turn your head in the other direction. See how this side feels different. So I'm looking as if I'm looking all the way behind me. Open your eyes wide, see what's on that wall behind you. Don't forget to exhale. Sink your head back a little bit more. And then bring your head back to center. Release your fingers. Roll them a couple of times. And now bring all the fingers together for the wise owl. And cup the fingers. So we do this by taking your palm and rolling the little finger side up on both sides. And again, your arms are down and out like you're a tent stake. Try to keep your shoulders squeezing into each other so that we have a nice open lung and heart. And now pick a shoulder and move your ear over the top of the shoulder. And whatever arm your ear is over, stretch down and out through the opposite arm. So you're going to feel this all the way across the shoulder, down into your arm. Just close your eyes for a moment. Part your teeth. Stretch down to that opposite arm so it's very actively moving downward. And as you breathe out, just allow any tension to break up and slide across the shoulder, down the arm, and between the fingers. And now gently roll your ear toward the front of your shoulder. Keep that little finger side rolled up. If you feel any of the numbness in your arm, that's kind of normal. Just relax it, breathe out. And then move the head back over the middle and tilt your chin up a little bit so the ear comes toward the back of your shoulder. So from the side, I have my head gently lifted as the ear rolls toward the back side of the shoulder. And now lift your head back up to center. Release your arms. So remember, fingers and toes are the furthest away from our heart. It's the end of our nervous system. We want to try to keep circulation flowing into these areas so that they get the maximum blood flow. Let's do another one on the other side. So roll those little fingers side up. All the fingers are touching each other. Like you have a little cup that you could hold rain in your hands. Squeeze the shoulders back. Lower the arms. Turn your ear over the shoulder. Breathe out. The side feels different. Roll the head toward the front of the shoulder. Feel free to close your eyes. Notice if this side feels tighter than the other. Bring the ear back over the shoulder and then lift the jaw toward the sky as your head comes near the back of the shoulder. Make sure that the shoulder isn't grabbing up under your ear. Keep it down. Bring your ear back over the shoulder and lift your head. Shake the hands, and we're going to take this into shaking the tree. So we'll start with the branches. Shake, and again, you could do this in a chair. With the wind, take your branches. Start shaking your whole body. And when you bring your arms back down to your side, focus on lifting and dropping the shoulders. So we lift, heavy drop. If I'm going too fast, just go at a pace that works for you. Again, you could be in a chair doing the same thing. So, you know, if you're still loving those Netflix specials, you could be doing this while you're watching your Netflix. But it's a little easier when you're standing because then you can get the whole body involved. I'm opening my mouth with a loud exhale. Remember that exhale is when you're letting out the stagnant energy your body doesn't need. Do one more long exhale. Lift and drop as much as you can. It's like your shoulders aren't attached. This is great for your neck and shoulders. Now, as you come to stillness, turn your palms to face to earth and close your eyes. Drop the shoulders a little more if you can. Bring your mind's eye to your shoulders. Notice how they're feeling. You feel any tingling in your fingertips? Now we're going to make a very gentle circle. So my shoulders are barely moving. It's as if there is a pendulum. My hands are the pendulum. It's a very gentle movement coming from the shoulder. And imagine that you're spiraling your fingers over the tip of a needle. So it's a little small circle. And go in the other direction. Really nice. So the subtle movement enhances our awareness of that energy that's within us. And now take a step out. We're gonna just bring one arm up like you're gathering some sunshine. Take it across the shoulders and sink into the opposite side. And as you get about hip height, these hands are gonna cross and we're gonna switch. The bottom hand turns up, move across your shoulders and pressing down with one hand, lift up with the other. Now I want you to see if you can line your hands up to each other as if you had a ball between your palms. So as you come across, this is the movement. They're reversing. And we're shifting. So here in the middle, you're 50-50, and all the weight's in one leg and the other leg is empty. Rotate the ball. Bring it back into the middle. Sink the weight on the other side, the other leg is empty. Rotate the ball. Carry it across. Turn the ball. And this time, as you slide across, see if you can turn at the hip all the way to the side, rotating the ball. Just getting a little movement in the hips. So the knees are bent. Very fragile glass ball. You don't want to drop it. Notice your palms. See if they're feeling any tingling in the palms. Wow, nice and slow. It's beautiful. Remember, we're in no hurry. Our journey is to be mindful, keeping the palms parallel with each other, softening the pace of the movement to connect with the slowness of our breath. Long exhale all the way across. Rotate on the inhale. Exhale long and slow across the body. Good. Hands stay connected. Very nice. One more in each direction. So breath in, rotate the ball. Exhale. Slide. Completely empty your breath. Come back to center. Bring your palms into your abdomen. Close your eyes for a moment. So usually one hand lays over the other. If you choose, you would like to spiral the energy in. So we massage the lower dantian or the abdominal area. Spiraling helps to restore our life force energy that stress chips away at. And that's what mindfulness movement does. It helps to restore us. So we're not worried about everything that's going on in our monkey mind. We're throwing that out. Letting the breath take over instead of our brain. So now let's just take a moment to close your eyes or stand or sit still with your gaze downward if closing your eyes is difficult. Pay attention to your breath. Notice your exhale. Fully release it before you begin your next inhale. If you need to stay seated or you want to sit, feel free. We are going to do a little bit for the hips. So we're going to be doing our leg swings. If you've had enough standing and you don't feel like you're up to it today, you could just practice bringing your leg back and pushing the back of your knee toward the sky to open the front of the hip, because we're working the lymph nodes in the groin area. They get compressed when we sit all the time. So when you're sitting, you're clamping off the arteries, whereas if they're open, things flow. So if you're having issues with your feet, you may want to use some more time during the day just tapping on the groin area, or practice some of this. Remember, walls, chair, furniture, all very helpful. And no one cares if you are touching your toe. If you need to touch your toe in the front and the back, that's what you need to do. So first, try lifting up your ribs. So we want our spine long, we're elongating that psoas muscle. And then your swing is going to be what your swing is. So if it's not comfortable for you to swing big, swing little. See if you're able to keep the ribs lifted up. And then let your leg be loose. Swing. We're on very crooked chairs here this week. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So plant that leg, move to the other side of your chair as you need to. All the weight sinks into the leg, but the ribs lift up. So the psoas muscle stays long. And as the leg is back, the arm is forward. Oops. Try 2 more. Good. Yeah, just bring your foot down. Let's all have a seat, just because we've been standing for a while. It's a nice way to give yourself a little break. And based on our requests today, which were for the lower back and a little lightness in the shoulders, but to open those as well, we're going to go into figure 4, which there's things you can do standing, but we're not going to go there today. We're going to keep it nice and easy so we can stay in our body instead of focusing on falling. So bring one ankle over the other if you're able to bring your foot up on your thigh. If you can't, you're just going to cross your leg in a way that works for you. When you have your foot up on your leg, bring your hands next to your chair, or your hips on the chair. Lengthen your spine. So think again, we're making as much space as we can between the ribs and the hips. And now, see if you can squeeze your shoulders together. So I'm going to turn a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my arms back as much as I can. Squeeze in the shoulder blades. And then lift my chin as I start to guide my body out. And as soon as you start to feel it in your hip, close your eyes, part your teeth, open your mouth as you exhale. Imagine any tension draining through your hip. It's like a waterfall. Keep breathing out. Funny faces are welcome. Close your eyes. Every time you exhale, just imagine that tension is flowing out of your body like a waterfall, flowing down a mountainside. And with each exhale, feel your body draping a little closer to your leg. Hopefully you'll feel this in your lower back, as well as the hip. It's all connected. Big, long exhales. And now when you've come as far forward as it's comfortable for you, with your eyes closed, just release your arms and try to move them forward so your whole body can hang like a limp doll, a rag doll, no bones. Beautiful. Try letting your head hang. Now keep your upper body empty. Tuck in your abdomen just a little bit. Roll your tailbone under and start pushing your spine toward the back of the chair so you can feel the space between your vertebrae as you roll up through your body. Whew. Unwind that leg. Now let's turn to the side of your chair. While we're on that side, and we're just going to slide the leg back. So I'll move back so you can see what I'm doing. Slide back and try wherever you are, just try moving the back of the knee toward the sky. So if you have your toes bent under, push back through your heel. And let's do a little tapping in the front. So we've already done the hip swings. That might help loosen this area up. But we're right in the line between the hip and the leg. Goes all the way into the pubic bone, up around the hip bone. You could do open hand smacking, tapping, either one. And then if you can, try the back of the knee. Anywhere there's a deep bend, you want to give it some extra tapping. Those of you with egg beaters or some other apparatus, that's where this comes in handy if you can't reach back there. We'll get to that again later. So bring your leg up, take a little moment and just notice how the two legs feel different. Bring your body back. We're gonna go to the other side. So bring your other foot up and over. And just notice, we're not judging, we're assessing. Is this tighter or more open? And again, I'm going to turn just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring my hands near the back of the chair. Lengthen your spine, squeeze in your shoulders. Feel that openness in your heart. Keep your ribs lifted up. Point your chin out. When you start feeling it, close your eyes. It doesn't matter how far forward you go. There's no prize. You're not trying to go anywhere your body doesn't want to go. We're letting the breath carry it there. So with your eyes closed, you can tune in to your body better. That's why I encourage you to close your eyes. Let's come out as much as it's comfortable for you. Breathing out. Again, imagine any dis-ease flowing out of your body with your breath. Gently roll the shoulders forward, letting your arms hang, the head hang. And let yourself be a rag doll. Empty of thought, releasing your breath long and slow, inviting your body to let go with your exhale. Now draw in your abdomen, tuck your tailbone under, and push your spine toward the back of the chair as you roll up through your body. Wind your leg. And slide it back. So sit on the front edge of your chair. So I have one thigh near the front of the chair so I can step the other foot back. And then push through the heel to bring the back of the knee up toward the sky. And do some tapping in the groin area. So again, we're going from hip bone down toward the pubic bone in that crease. And then go to the back of the knee if you can. And then step the knees together. Take a moment to notice how that feels. And next we're going to go to tools that we haven't used for a while at home. If you have an egg beater or you've got a shower brush, then you might want to grab those. I did bring in the beaters today. So for those of you who are in person, we have, these are rattan, and these rattan beaters are used in our practice called iron shirts. And the intention of this is to stimulate circulation. So this is actually what's used in martial arts training, but we're not martial artists. We're just trying to make sure that our body gets rid of what it doesn't need. So I have actually a rattan one. They have bamboo hitters. They're much more gentle. And I see a whisk in the room. Woohoo! So tilt your head to one side and tap on the side of your neck. And what we didn't do earlier doesn't get the tension out. This will. Again, you can be using your knuckles. It works just as well. Now come down the side of your arm. And remember, we're going to look at our limbs as if they were rectangles. So we have the front, the side. When you get to the bend of your elbow, do some extra tapping like we did behind the knee. The back side. And the underside. And into the palm. Now we're going to lift up underneath the ribs and get under the armpit. Again, we're going for those lymph nodes. There's a lot under the arm and through the chest. So tap and go down the side of the ribs. And then if you're using your hand, you might want to lean forward, either tap one way or the other. If you have a hitter, you can tap from the top, around the shoulder blade. Using the rattan, it makes a little sound. You can bend forward and tap the back. So again, use your fist. If you're using your hands, bend forward. You can do this standing as well. It's usually done standing, just so you know. And then come to the front and lighter down the front of the chest. And then lightly across the chest, under the collarbone. Switching, come to the side of the neck. So just tilt your head. This feels really good. Does to me anyway. Come down the side of the arm. Remember, you've got four sides, top, bottom, and sides of the arm. You can go in any direction. Just do a little extra tapping in the bend of the elbow. The outside of the arm. And if any area feels a little tender, just give it a little extra loving this morning. That means a lighter touch or maybe a little extra. And in the center of the palm. And then under the arm. So do as you need to, make some adjustments in the tension down the side of the ribs. And then again, if you're using your hand, just tap. You want to use the other side, you choose what works better for you. And then we're going to tap the back. So again, you can use one hand or the other. Easier to do standing. So I'm going to just show you if you're standing. You could even lean over and hold on to something if you need to, or hold on to your legs. It allows you to get the whole openness of the spine. And then we're going to come back and do down the front of your chest. And then we're going to go across the abdomen. So there's a difference in grabbing your abdomen in. So we're not going to grab the abdomen in because that means my tailbone is going to tuck under. We're going to try to squeeze everything without engaging the abdomen. So tap across. It feels tender underneath your ribs. That's normal. Your diaphragm is there. Remember, the right side of the body has the liver, and the left side, your pancreas and your spleen. We're going to go across the intestines. We're going to do a little repeat in the kidneys. So the lower back, we did the upper and middle back. Again, lean forward, come all the way down to your pelvic bone. Do the other side while you're here. And then we're going to pick one side and we're going to do the glutes. So we're going down the glutes, get underneath at the very top of the thigh. If you're on a chair and it's not comfortable to stand up for you, just come on with the leg off the side of the chair. Okay. Otherwise, if you can stand and join us, feel free to hold on to something. Go down the back of the leg. Give a little extra love behind the knee today. Down to your ankle. Again, if you're using your hands, you're doing the fists, okay? Come to the side. Down toward the ankle. Start all the way at the top. Down the front of the leg. Inside of the leg. And go to your other side. Start all the way up, get the glutes. Underneath the glutes, down the back of the leg, behind the knee, down to the ankle, side of the leg. Front of the leg. Inside. Now, stay standing as you like. I'm going to come closer so you can see what I'm doing. And remember, I have a piece of wood, so I'm going to tap very lightly. You can use your fingertips for this, or you can use your little knuckles, however you like. We're going to do some tapping along the jawline. We're going to go around the back of the skull. So if you tilt your head, you're going to go around the base of the skull line. So the very top of the neck. You can see that. So tilt your head. This feels wonderful at the very middle back. This is part of the gallbladder channel. And it's a nice flushing out. Come around to the other side. Again, if there's an area that feels really tight for you, just give it a little extra. Come under the jaw. And then up the front of the face. So here's another benefit to your mask. It adds a little extra padding when you're doing some tapping. And the cheekbones. And yes, if you're using your hands, you can do both hands. So just a demo with the hands. You can make it like raindrops. and come up to the top of the head. So same with your tool, whatever you have. Bring it all the way towards the back. And then if you've ever seen a man get his head shaved, we're going to do that pattern all the way from the front to the back, several times on each side, moving about an inch below it, very lightly. Whole side of the head. It's really nice if there's areas that are really tender, just do extra tapping there or change what you're tapping with or how you're tapping. And then do the other side of the head. So you don't want a mohawk or half a buzz cut. Go down the other side, all the way to the back. Light tapping with the fingertips. So and then no matter whether you're using a tool or not, use all of your fingers and we're just going to come back. So from the front, part your fingers all the way back. Good. Now, the palms, remember, are your heart. So you can tap more in the palm. You use your fist or with knuckles tapping on both sides. And the bottom of the foot. So take off one shoe here and show you that when you are doing your foot, if you're just doing some quick tapping, try to go for the middle of the foot. This is where the bubbling well point is, below the ball of the foot. This is the point we use with our elbow, but if you have a paddle of some sort, again, if you can find, now's a great time. They've got a plethora of holiday gifts out, and it's a good time to find those massagers for the shower, the little brushes. They're everywhere. But they're a nice thing to use for this because you can brush the skin, you can tap with the handle. Let's do the whole bottom of the foot. And then we're going to do the other side. And now switch. It's a great way to wake up the feet. Again, I'm going to focus in on the middle. Also get the heel. For those of you with plantar fasciitis, that's actually an occurrence of other things further up your body. It's just expressing itself in your feet. So it's be a good time to get a massage. You deserve it. This is a way to get massage without paying someone else. Right. So when you're finished, where we take a minute, rub your hands together. Feel the heat. And now let your palms face each other. Remember we had that ball we were moving before? Bring your palms close enough together. See if you can feel any resistance or tingling. Just press in. Close your eyes. Leave one hand still and move the other like you're petting it or rotating a ball between the palms. A little smile on your face as you're doing this. We're inviting all the chi that's in your palm, flowing in through your heart, disseminating through all the other organs and tissues and bones in your body. knowing that that healing power that we're sensing between our palms is happening within our own selves. This is a nice opportunity. With your eyes closed, just draw that energy inward into an area of your life or your body, your mind or your spirit that you would like to have a little extra support. And keep in mind that each time you exhale, your body is letting go of what it doesn't need. This energy is happening within us. We can cultivate it and direct it inward for our own healing. So let's just place our palms together now, sealing in that healing power. Keeping in mind that that space within you is always with you. You can enhance that healing power each time you move through your practice. Letting your breath be your guide as you move forward into this darker days, holiday season. Know that you can let go with each exhale. And what you attach to can be your breath instead of something in the outside world. The beauty of that vessel is with you wherever you go. May that light within you brighten your path through these darker days. Thank you so much for being with me today. It was my honor to have each of you here. I appreciate your joining us this morning. I hope to see you next week on Monday at 10:30 or Thursday at 9 virtually for yoga. Have a great week.